the NDA I refused to sign. The pen was too heavy for an office supply. It sat on the conference table at Etha's headquarters like a paperweight pretending to be useful, sleek, matte, with a clip that hid a lens if you knew where to look. I didn't until I rolled it between my fingers and felt the hitch near the top, the subtle resistance of a device that was never meant to sign anything. "Go ahead," the woman across from me said. "It's standard. We can't tour the senses floor without it." She wore a white suit that made the room commit to its lighting, and a smile that made the word standard sound like a story she'd already gotten away with. The NDA was 4 pages on good paper, clauses strung together like charms against bad weather. No photos, no recording, no discussing client processes, no acknowledging you'd been asked not to acknowledge, whose lawyers had decided to let their it out for a stroll. I'm a crisis man by occupation and a locksmith by temperament. I sign things for a living, but I read them like enemies first. I scanned the document and found the poison line halfway down page 3. You agree that any data you produce on premises is owned by Etha. I looked up. "Define data," I said. "Impressions," she said, unbothered. "Notes, recordings, thoughts on your personal devices." "My thoughts." "Work product," she corrected. "We've had leaks and misunderstandings." Mina had warned me the NDA would feel like a dare. She always knows where my blood sugar spikes. She's an editor for a magazine that still believes in fact-checkers and maps, and my partner in the version of my life where wanting something isn't immediately an indictment. She had also been offered a tour, the golden carrot for trusted media, who might tell a story about Etha's philanthropic arm without asking why they keep moving money through Delaware like it's a detox. "You don't need my thoughts," I said, setting the pen down. "You need a better conscience." Her smile deepened as if we were flirting instead of jousting. "Etha is an oasis," she said. "People come to reset. The senses floor is just an accelerant." "An accelerant," I repeated, "like gasoline." She laughed, "Like citrus." The senses floor is Etha's latest myth, a suite of rooms where tech meets therapy meets money that wants to be forgiven. Breathwork coached by algorithms, sound baths tuned to your DNA, tactile paths that claim to reorganize your nervous system, while a woman named Astrid whispers about gratitude into your left ear, and your annual fee gets debited at a rate calibrated to your shame threshold. I stood, not signing. "Show me," I said. "You can't see without the NDA," she said, folding her hands as if she agreed with herself more than she liked winning. "Mina signed it?" I asked. Her expression didn't change. "I'm not at liberty to say who." "She's my partner," I said. "She doesn't do secrets, not anymore." That was true and not. We keep our secrets in daylight and let the city trip over them, which feels like honesty, until a clause like this tries to convince you only the dark is safe. "I'm not signing," I said, "but I'm walking." She watched me, calculating how much of me was theater and how much was stubbornness. "You can see the lobby oasis," she conceded, "and the labyrinth, no further." "Fine," I said, "I like mazes." The lobby oasis was the kind of natural that requires a small army of maintenance staff to pretend it was. Plants too glossy to be real unless they were expensive. A water feature with a sound engineer. People in linen pretending they'd been born serene. We passed a glass wall tinted to suggest privacy. My reflection shifted, and I almost didn't recognize the man who'd refused to sign. He looked like me on the days I return a key to a drawer and decide to keep the drawer. Mina says that's the version of me she trusts with knives. "You're going to try the labyrinth," the white-suited woman said. It's designed to help you separate what you think you need from what you actually want. I already did that, I said. It didn't take. She tapped her badge to a reader disguised as a leaf, and the door opened on a corridor that bent right like secrets do. The air changed. Sound found us softer. My shoes made a courtesy noise. The wall lights were that shade of gold you only see on rooms that have paid for their own flattery. Halfway down, Mina stepped out of a side door like a plot twist. Her hair was up in the way I like. Her eyes were doing the math mine were trying to avoid. "You didn't sign," she said, not asking. "You did," I said, not accusing. "She did and didn't," the white suit said. "We have a media carve-out." "Meaning what?" Mina asked. She had her notebook in her hand, but it wasn't open. She fights better when she remembers to write. "Meaning she can write about what we show her," the woman said. "If what we show her is the right part." "The right part is the true part," Mina said. "Truth is a curated experience," the woman replied. "Welcome to Etha." She left us at a fork in the corridor and let the door close like a joke she'd told too many times. The signs were discreet. Left, sound. Right, touch. Ahead, confession. I raised my eyebrows at Mina and we went forward because our bad habits have learned each other. The confession room looked like a chapel for agnostics. Pews that didn't beg for knees. Cushions designed by a former architect who hates his father. A stained glass panel that wasn't, just screens calibrated to sunrise. A woman sat at the front with her back to us. She wore a dress the color of advice and her hair in a knot that wasn't trying. When she turned, I felt my gut remember something my mouth had promised to forget. "Ye," she said, as if we'd never given up the habit of being the first on each other's speed dial. "You came." "Of course you work here," I said, "because some clichés are invitations you accept." Vera's official job at Etha was director of guest psychology. Unofficially, she's a collector of the ways people survive. Once, a decade ago, we'd been excellent together at the part of love that feels like strategy. We'd broken on the part that demanded we admit what we couldn't fix in the other. Mina knew all this in the way she knows my scar maps. I had told her at the exact point telling her would cost me less than not telling her later. "Hi, Vera," Mina said, professional enough that I wanted to bite something. "Mina," Vera said, truly pleased. "I loved your river piece. The paragraph about the faucet that won't stop dripping. Perfect." I recoiled for a half-second at the compliment that landed on the part of me that wants my person adored by the world and selfishly protected from it. Mina reached for my hand in that unshowy way she has and kept walking toward the front. "What is this, really?" Mina asked. "The senses floor, the labyrinth, the NDA that wants our thoughts." "People come here to tell the truth to a wall that knows how to listen," Vera said. "It's transactional, sure, but who says good things can't be sold?" "The data clause," I said. "You own what they say." "We hold it," she corrected. "We're very good at holding." "You're very good at leveraging," Mina said. "My inbox is full of success stories with disclaimers like parachutes." Vera smiled at her, the way she smiles at bruised animals that might bite. "You've both built lives around rooms that tell themselves they're noble. So have I, we're just better at temperature control." "Show us the thing," I said. "The reason you texted me 3 weeks ago from a number that erased itself." "Ah," she said, "so you do still listen." She led us down another corridor, narrower, cooler, past doors marked with euphemisms. Reflection, reset, relief. She tapped another leaf. Another door opened, and we were in a room that looked like a very expensive interrogation you'd want to confess at even if you were innocent. "White noise," she said, tapping the wall. The sound came up like water in a sink, the kind of hiss that hides your words from microphones. It's our promise, privacy. People tell the truth when they hear a sound that sounds like safety. Mina stood under a ceiling speaker and looked up like it had asked her a question. "It works," she said. "I want to say something I'll regret." "You already did," Vera said. "No," Mina said, and turned to me, her eyes gone that particular bright that calls me toward very bad and very good behavior. "Tell him." "Tell me what?" I asked, amused in the part of me that knows I'm about to stop being amused. Vera moved the white noise down a notch. "Harlan Pierce is using the quiet to collect confessions," she said, "and he's paying for the white noise that promises no one can hear. Etha holds it. He harvests it. Not always law, sometimes leverage." Harlan Pierce, local magnate of regeneration projects and aspirational divorces. The man thinks a building is sorry if it has arches. "There's a clause you didn't see because you didn't sign," she said to me. "Patrons can bring guests in. Guests consent by entering to therapeutic support. In practice, it's wives, ex-partners, business rivals. He's keeping a wall of admissions he uses to keep the city obedient." "Prove it," Mina said, serene and deadly. Vera smiled without pleasure. "That's why I asked you to come," she said. What followed had the choreography of good plans. Another door, a control closet behind panels that want you to think they're art, a small server box with a sticker that said humidity-friendly and an LED that blinked like a guilty eye. Vera popped the panel like she'd been the person who designed the pop. Inside, 2 storage bays. One was Etha. One was Thera Partner LLC, a harmless enough shell unless you knew who formed it. "Our white noise masks are legit," she said, "but the mics are too. The second rides the first. No one hears it unless they expect it. Harlan expects it." "And you work here," I said. "And I work here," she said. "People are mess, I help, but I don't do blackmail." "I do pressure," Mina said, "and maps." "Then map this," Vera said, handing me a thumb drive small enough to lose and heavy enough to make my pocket stupid. "Just metadata, no content yet. Dates, durations, whose badge opened what when. You'll see the clusters. Tuesday nights, 2 hours. Follow it to the clerk who schedules zoning votes." "You don't want to walk out with us?" I asked. "I can't," she said. "If I go loud from inside, they make me the story. If you burn it from outside, I get to keep my job long enough to fix the piece you can't reach." Mina nodded. She's always known how to share a battlefield. We left with the white noise still on. The corridor returned us to beige. The white suit was waiting at the fork like she'd grown there. "How did it feel?" she asked, voice a little too soprano. "Like a confession," I said. "Good," she said. "You should sign." "I won't," I said. "You'll regret it," she sang, and the door ate her. We didn't go home. We went to a diner where the coffee is burned on purpose and the waitress knows us enough to ask if the city is misbehaving. Mina opened her notebook. I took apart the metadata with my hands, laying it on the table like a deck of cards that wanted to tell our future. "Tuesday," I said. "Always after 9, always before midnight. Etha badge, then a partner badge." "The council aide," Mina said, nomming one of the 3 men in this town whose voicemail I won't go near because it has a kind of gravity. "Pierce's lawyer," I said. "His ex-wife," Mina said softly. "The one who wouldn't sign the thing that says what she's allowed to say to her own sister." "That's the part where it stops being a report," I said, "and becomes a choice." We didn't talk for a minute. We are always at our most honest when we let the room know what it can't have. "I want to take this on," Mina said. "I want to stand behind you while you do," I said. I want to punish you for liking Vera's mouth, she said, eyes back on me, mouth now. I want to let you, I said. Say it, she said, because we are nothing if not our ugliest good habits. Honeysuckle, I said, and the word tasted better than it deserved. We did the work. The reporter who owes me more than a steak and less than a kidney ran the math through her head, while her editor talked about human interest. The city lawyer who hates being embarrassed reached for the last ordinance he'd written that still had a spine. The council aide agreed to a meeting without phones when he saw the calendar we'd built from metadata alone. Mina wrote the piece that names the thing without destroying the person, and I loved her in public for the paragraphs that asked forgiveness with knives. Pierce got ahead of it poorly. He posted a video from a bench in a park he does not visit. He used the word journey. He said privacy with the confidence of a man whose life has been a series of rooms with 3 exits and a valet. Etha promoted the white suit and announced a pause on the census floor to align with our values. Vera sent a single text. It worked. Keep walking. That night, Mina pushed me against our hallway wall and kissed me like the city had finally apologized. We went slow because we could. She guided my hands the way plans get guided after the threat has been disarmed and the victory needs to be metabolized. When I lifted her and her knee found my hip and the light from the street cut us into pieces and put us back together, it wasn't puritanical or cinematic. It was the kind of proof I trust. After, we lay on the floor because the couch looked complicit and the bed looked like a promise we'd keep later. Mina put her ear to my chest and found the hinge, that little catch my heart makes before it decides to behave. You were jealous of Vera, she said. I was jealous of a decade, I said. That decade was loud, she said. This one is better, I said. You didn't sign, she said. I did something worse, I said. I wanted to. She laughed, the sound I'd ruin a hearing for. We'll always want to, she said. We just won't. In the morning, the city attorney used the phrase unlawful interception with the relish of a man who thinks he's about to see a donor cry. The council aide resigned to spend time with his family, and then immediately appeared at a lobby firm that rhymes with betrayal and sons. Etha's shareholders staged a coup with prayer hands. Vera kept her job for now and texted me 2 words, "You're good." I typed back, "You first." We kept the pen on our kitchen counter as a reminder not to sign our names to rooms that didn't deserve them. Sometimes I roll it and feel that hitch where the lens lives, the little lie that thinks it's clever. Sometimes Mina picks it up and uses it to write grocery lists just to make herself laugh. We owe a lot to the people who build the machines that record what we say when we think no one is listening. We owe more to the ones who build the noise that buys us enough time to say it right. I still hate the password. I hate that I need it. I love that it keeps letting us out of rooms we shouldn't be in. When Mina asks me to say it, I try to do it before I enjoy pretending I forgot. I say it into her shoulder, into the space where she keeps the part of herself the city can't touch. She says it back, and it's ridiculous, and it works. The NDA sits unsigned in a folder I refuse to throw away. The next time someone asks me to let them own my thoughts, I'll bring it, and a pen with a lens, and a partner who knows how to walk past a maze and straight into the room where the truth is waiting, impatient, loud, hours.